In a world that's just packed with apps and videos, how do you actually teach the youngest generation about timeless traditions and values? It's a huge question for any parent, right? But what if the answer was kind of hidden inside one of the most familiar kids' songs on the planet? Today, we're going to look at a fascinating case of exactly that.
So today, we're deconstructing what seems like a really simple children's song to see how it cleverly transforms a classic tune into a seriously powerful teaching tool for a whole new generation.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about why this is way more than just a song. Then, we're going to uncover the hidden formula that drives every single verse. After that, we'll see how that formula uses rhythm and repetition, decode the specific words it's designed to teach, and finally, we'll figure out why this whole blueprint is just so effective.
Okay, let's start right here. It would be so easy to just dismiss this as another simple kids song, but trust me, that's a mistake. What we're actually looking at is a really carefully crafted piece of media that's designed to do a very specific job.
The source here is a popular YouTube video. It takes that classic melody of the wheels on the bus that we all know and completely reimagines it. It's now a journey to the city of Medina, and it embeds key cultural and religious ideas right into the lyrics.
So how does it work so well? What's the secret sauce? To really get the song as a whole, we first need to break down its foundational formula, the anatomy of the journey itself. We're going to zoom in on the very first verse, the one about the plane journey. Why? Because this single verse contains the entire blueprint for the rest of the song. It's pretty much the key that unlocks the whole structure.
And boom, here's the formula. It's a simple four-step pattern. Step 1, you introduce the vehicle and its sound. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Step 2, a main character does something and says a key phrase. Step 3, a supporting character chimes in with another key phrase. And finally, step 4, a group chorus repeats a final unifying phrase. This pattern is literally the engine of the entire song.
Okay, so now that we have the formula, let's look at the song's rhythmic pattern. This is where we can really see how repetition and just a little bit of variation are used to make the lesson stick. And this table just makes it crystal clear. Look at how the vehicle and its sound change. It goes from a plane to a bike to a horse, but notice the primary and group phrases, Bismillah and Allahu Akbar. They never change. The fun stuff switches up, but the core lesson gets reinforced again and again. That's repetition with a purpose. And this, right here, is the genius of its design. The structure and the core message stay exactly the same, while only the fun details, like the vehicles, change. This makes the lesson incredibly easy for a child to absorb, because the learning is totally wrapped in play.
Which brings us to our fourth section, the sacred vocabulary. So we've seen how the words are taught, but now let's actually understand what these key phrases mean.
The song uses the line, "The pilot on the plane says Bismillah," over and over again. And later, it's, "Little Hamza on the bike says Bismillah." It's the phrase that kicks off every single journey. So, what is it?
Well, Bismillah is an Arabic phrase that translates to "in the name of God." It's a foundational expression in Islam used before beginning pretty much any task, from eating a meal to, you guessed it, starting a journey. The song directly links it to that act of setting out. All right, next up is the chorus that unites all the kids on this trip. In every verse, whether they're on a plane, a bike, or a horse, we hear the kids say Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar means God is the greatest. It's one of the most common expressions in Islam, and it's used to show faith, express joy, and offer praise. In the song, it works as this joyful communal chant for the children. And finally, there's one more phrase, spoken by a supporting character, like little Zoya or Mommy, who says, Masha'Allah. Masha'Allah is an expression of appreciation and joy. It's often used when you're admiring something beautiful or seeing something good happen, basically acknowledging it as a blessing from God. In the context of this journey, it really conveys a sense of wonder and thankfulness. Okay, this brings us to our final section, where we get to put it all together. What makes this song such a powerful and effective educational blueprint? The most important thing to take away from all this is that nothing in this song is an accident. It's not just some cute cover tune. It is a precisely designed machine for teaching specific ideas and words in a way that kids just can't help but remember. And this is exactly why it works. First, you have simple repetition to drill the words into their heads. Then you've got strong auditory cues, the catchy melody and all those fun vehicle sounds. But most importantly, you have positive association. It links these sacred phrases with the fun and excitement of a journey.
The whole thing integrates the lesson so perfectly that it never even feels like a lesson.
So, all this leaves us with a final thought. This video is really just one example of a much, much bigger trend. As more creators keep blending these familiar formats with very specific cultural and religious content, it really makes you wonder, how is this explosion of tailored digital media going to reshape childhood learning and identity for the next generation?